Why, hello there, friends, and welcome to the obligatory top 5 of 2018. Now, if this is your first time watching it, this is my own personal list of my favorite games that I have played on the channel of the year, and then I go over them 5 through 1 being the one I enjoyed the most, as well as having some honorable mentions. There are a few rules that I have set myself. In terms of what can actually be on the list. 1. The first rule is I had to have it's okay to have played the game like early, like let's just say I started the game late last year and ended up beating it in 2018. That counts. So, I could have a game like that. Or the game has to have come out in 2018 and I have beaten it in 2018. And then lastly, the last rule is I could be playing, the game could be on the list if I'm playing it right now and am almost done with the game. Now, what does that mean? That means like a game such as, well, let's just throw out an example, like Shining Song Star Nova or Happy Nightmare. They cannot be on the list because I am nowhere near done beating those games. But, yeah, so they're exempt, but other games that I'm close to finishing can be on the list, even if I did start them last year or whatever have you. So, you know what? Let's just jump on in to my top 5 of 2018. Now, you guys know I love me some Monster Girls, and of course, I had to put Princess X at least on the top 5. Now, you're probably wondering, why is it on the top 5? Well, 1, Monster Girls, of course. The story is, it's pretty much you have to marry one of these several Monster Girls, or else the world will blow up. And you have some, like a snake girl. Well, she's more than a snake girl, but I'm not even going to go into that. A centaur, a lolly Nazi robot. You heard me right. And a spider girl, though you can't actually be with the spider girl. But that's another topic for another day. Now, why did I enjoy it so much? It was weird. It was really weird. It has multiple endings. What? How many endings? Like 30? Not 30. Like some weird number. Some crazy number, alright? And some can be good, some can be bad. Some can go in a completely different direction, like doing the diddly with a cylinder robot thing that you wouldn't think you would ever be able to do that. Now, the game is a game that, is meant to, it's just mostly made for the diddly scenes. But I enjoyed it a lot because the story, it was there. You know what I mean? It was crazy. It was nonsensical, but at the same time, it totally made sense. Now, I know that sounds crazy, but because it is. And I did enjoy my times there. This game has made me feel so unsettled. And I was just like, oh. Like, there are points in the game where you're just like, or even endings, or storylines, or scenarios where you're just like, ooh, I feel slimy right now, or, but you also feel that emotion. Not as much as in other games, but you feel it. And I really enjoyed this title, and Princess X, everyone, top is number 5, and I think it's like, what, $30-$40 or something. You get a lot out of it, out of a visual novel. The decisions can be a little hit and miss, but it's fine. As long as I enjoyed it. This is my top 5. This is my top 5! My top 4 is Lucy Got Problems. This is actually a recent game that came out late 2018. And was it late? No. Whatever. It was in the later half of the year. Anywho, you play a succubus scout sent to collect an item for your mistress Tiamat for God knows what reason, and hilarity ensues. Now, it's a short game, but bear in mind that there are several decisions in the game. All with many, many endings. And there's even time decisions. And I do not do well with time decisions, but I had a blast doing them anyway. It is just wacky. I think the reason why I liked it so much was because it was comedy through and through. It had certain, I remember distinctively it having a very serious, kind of scary horror moment, but you know, that's all. But other than that, it was pretty much funny all the way through. All the characters were ridiculous. All the innuendos were stupid. It was stupid but funny. You had dickfish, for God's sake. They were fish that looked like penises, but they were fish. And going into Lucy's chest. And, oh, jeez. Anyway. Man, I don't even know what I'm going to be showing on the screen right now to describe all this. But yeah, there really isn't much more to say other than I really did enjoy Lucy Got Problems for what it was, and I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but the developers have let me know that we might be getting another one based on how the story ended. Wink, 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 wink. Sorry, Flat Chest Dev, if I spoiled anything. Moving on. Oh, come on. Did you guys not expect me to put this game on the list? You know I had to put on the list because it is the wackiest shit I have played in a more realistic way. Is it just insane? It is rom-com through and through. What does that mean? That means romantic comedy. I would say the common route is probably the funniest, most ridiculous thing I have played, at least in this year, in terms of its silliness. Now, what's the story? The story is you, main character, either they have their own name or your name. You can actually name the character, and of course I named him Scott Jerkoff. And his quest, essentially, is to get a girlfriend by the end of the summer. And if you don't, you're pretty much fucked. But if you do, then you start a route. The common route is comedy all the way through, but once you get into a route, that's when the more romance comes in. And I know a lot of people didn't really care for like the more romance side, but I really enjoyed it myself. Now, this game also has a lot of decisions, and by decisions, I mean dating sim aspects. You actually have conversations with all the girls, and ranging from a wide variety of topics, and you can choose different answers, and if you get them wrong, well, I guess you're just fucked, aren't you? Or, if you get them right, you get more affection, and, you know, you gain points with the girls, until eventually you can confess, and there you go. You have characters like Yuzu, the Soon, that's not really a Soon. You got Misaki, my senpai. She's just a little sweetheart, and I want to protect her. And they're all fun, all good characters. As well as, they also do, I haven't seen this myself, but they have jealousy events as well. So if you are maxed out affection with one character, and then you go with another character to get their affection, they might have a little scene or two that show off jealousy. So that's pretty interesting. But yes, I love this game. I love it to death. I am almost finished with it, and I know it's taken me almost a year to do it, but I've enjoyed every second of it, and yeah. what is it's like I don't it's like what is it like $30, $40? I don't even remember doing this with the last one. Oh shit, man, this sucks when you're doing it impromptu. I'm gonna just say scrap the fucking telling you the price of the game. Anywho, this one is my top 2, and it is actually incredible. Actually incredible. Fatal 12. Oh boy, this game has caused me to feel feelings I never felt I felt in my fucking felt. You play as Rinka, and essentially the story is you and 11 other participants all die at the exact same time. At least that's how I remember it being. And you're all thrown into this world, this court of fate, if you will. And you're pretty much playing a game to see if you can collect enough of everyone's cards, aka their regrets, their deaths, or their names. And once you have all 3 of them, you can eliminate the other characters in the game. And this leads to some incredibly emotional scenes, along with the fact, you would not assume this, but every character gets some spotlight. Every single one of them. And a character that you might have hated at the very start, you might actually end up loving to death. And that's what happened to me. One of the characters at the start, he was made to be the villain, right? Like that was his thing. But as you go through the story, I ended up loving this man. Not as much as Rinka, the main character, who, by the way, changes so well throughout the story. She is just a sweetheart, and I just loved seeing the evolution of, and seeing the way these characters deal with this situation. Now, do they go full into trying to eliminate everybody so that they can in fact live? Because that's how you have to live. You get a second chance at life, but only if you get rid of all these other people. So how do you deal with that? Do you just wait and see what happens? Do you actively go searching for people and their information? Or, it's a pretty amazing game. And I'm not sure if it got a lot of attention, but I hope it did. Because I sure as hell enjoyed a lot. It's made by the same people who made Sound of Drop, so I mean, it's also got multiple endings. A lot of them bad, a lot of them good. One true ending though, and some neutral. So I think I got a good ending. Oh jeez, man, it has been some time, but I did get a good ending because I'm awesome and I'm good at making decisions and. No, I'm not. I'm not good at making decisions at all. So yeah, Fatal 12, top 2. Yeah, woo! Now, before we get to the number 1 of this year, I just wanted to give out some honorable mentions to games that didn't quite make the cut. I almost reversed those words. Didn't quite make the cut. But remember, this year was very, 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 very hard to figure out what my favorite games of this year were. It was harder than last year. Last year, I only had to decide whether what the top 1 was going to be. This year, I had to decide what everything was going to be. So, yeah, there were games I had to put into the honorable mentions because they didn't quite make it there. But, here you guys go. Here's the honorable mentions, 5 of them for 2018. And my number one, which you probably saw from a mile away, was the Fruit of Grisaia. I don't even care if I'm saying the name wrong. I've said it this my entire time. The whole time I've been playing it. So, this is a game that I started last year. Probably like mid last year or something, and it's recently just had its year anniversary on my channel. But I'm also very close to finishing it, which is why it is allowed to be on the list. Now, this game, words I feel like can't describe it, because there's just so much good I can say about the game. The story's great. There aren't too many decisions, but that doesn't really mean if it's a bad or a good game, right? It's just you have 5 different character routes you can go on, and each character in this game is heavily detailed, heavily story driven. The game itself is, and my god, like the main character, because I'm a Yuji Occupation student, himself is just amazing. He's an enigma, and you don't know shit about him for most of the story. Every route you do gives you small little tidbits into his past, but you don't find that out until the next game, which we will be starting here soon. But the game is mostly about helping these other girls with their problems. And their problems can, I don't really want to go into spoilers or anything, but their problems can range from, you know, mental scarring, or, you know, feeling like you're all alone and wanting to die, and, you know, all these crazy things that end up happening. A lot of it can be supernatural, but some of it's very, very real. Like some situations, like what would happen if your fucking bus just careened and fell into a ravine area, and you couldn't make any contact, so you're just trapped there for 2 weeks. What would happen then? Like, you know, things like that. It's just, this game has made me cry. It's made me laugh. It's made me again feel just emotions that like I end up caring for these characters so much. And the best part about it is, once I finish the game, which will probably be here relatively soon, I don't get to say goodbye to these characters that I've grown so much to love. I get to move on to the other games, which there are plenty more that I can continue to grow with. Like, I get to continue to see our main character and his own past. I'll be able to see that and fully actually understand him. I'll hopefully be able to see if one of my theories is fucking correct. And I just can't wait. I can't wait. Why am I tearing up? What is wrong with me? Anyway, I guess that's how much the game's had an effect on me. It's just such a great game. And I know most of you have probably fucking played it, and you're watching me to see my reactions, but this is my first time ever experiencing it. And I'm not going to watch the anime until I'm actually done with the complete series, because, you know, there's only so much you could do in, like, an anime compared to, like, visual novels and stuff. But, you know, it's such a good series. Such a good game. And I just can't praise it more than enough. So, there you go. Fruit of Grisaia is my top 1 of 2018, because I'm about to finish it. I hope you guys enjoyed my list of 2018, and I really enjoyed making this video. I really enjoy letting you guys know just like what my favorite games were and what my preferences are. The games that aren't on the list, that didn't mean I didn't like them, because I end up liking probably 99% of the games that I play, but that's just because I'm that kind of person. I don't complain a lot about most games. I don't, like, if I play a game, I'm more than likely going to enjoy it, and that's pretty much what happened this year. But that's usually how I always am. But yeah, if it wasn't on the list, that didn't mean I didn't like it. Of course, I liked everything, but these were just my own personal favorites. I hope you enjoyed looking at. I want to see what your guys' list where it was in terms of like if you've been with me for a long time or watch most of what I do or this and that. What was your top five? What you know what? Doesn't even have to be what was on my channel. What was your top five in general? Just let me know. I I always like seeing comments. Always like seeing all that shit because it's always fun to see. I read every single one of your comments, by the way. I'm not one of those guys that's like, oh, I read all the comments, but then they actually don't. I legitimately go through every single one of them, and sometimes can reply to every single comment. But yeah, tell me what you thought of my list. What's your list? What's going on? And I hope next year's gonna be just as awesome as this year. Be it with games or anything. I mean, games it was good, but everything else was kind of shitty, right? Like 2018 was not a good year, but hopefully next year's better. And I'll see you guys next time in the next set of videos, or if you only watch my obligatory top fives, then I'll see you next year, I guess. Have a good day, everyone. See you later.